Hey there. Well, I really like to share with you this classic one where, people start a presentation and they feel they have already lost half the audience after 1 minute. And that's a pity because you have an important message to share, otherwise you wouldn't be giving a presentation. And yet, how do we make sure that everybody listens, or at least they start listening to us? Well, that's what we have to engage our audience. It's not so much that we have lost half the audience. Often we haven't managed to engage them right from the start. And it's a very, very simple technique which is called asking two and rolling questions, which is a technique that helps you to really make sure that everybody is with you, everybody listens to you, and at least gives you the chance of the first 10 seconds to keep them engaged and keep them listening to your presentation. So how does it work? Two and rolling questions. Well, it's very simple. First of all, consider the difference between asking a question and making a statement. If you want to get something done from your children, maybe as simple as getting their attention, well, what can you do? You can either tell them something or you can ask them something. And try it for yourself, or consider or practice it with somebody else. Try to give 50% to a question. You cannot. If somebody asks you a question, the only thing you can do is be 100% engaged with that question. No matter what question, especially, by the way, if it's an open question rather than a closed one. But if you tell somebody something, well, you can give it 10-20% of your attention, and then the other 80% can still be involved with other things. Try it with your children. Instead of telling them what they need to be doing, or they need to listen to you, or that it's really important to go to bed or make their homework, ask them a question. Ask them an open question. And they will be 100% engaged. So you can use the same technique if you have a presentation and you really want everybody involved. It's called two and rolling questions. And these should be questions that can be easily answered with yes or no. And then you ask the opposite. So for instance, you have your audience and somebody is reading a newspaper in the back. People are talking to each other. Others are, busy with their stuff. And you want to start your presentation. Well, what can you do? You say, well, by show of hands, how many of you had breakfast this morning? And you stick up your hand, and then some people will show their hands. And then how many of you did not have breakfast this morning? And then you show your other hand, and then people will show their hands if they didn't have breakfast. And then, of course, there's always these people that never answer any of your questions, so you tell them, well, and how many of you will never any of my questions, no matter what question I ask? And then, again, of course, you get people to laugh, because that's not what they expect. So very simple, ask two and rolling questions. How many of you had breakfast this morning? Thank you. And how many of you didn't have breakfast this morning? Thank you. And how many of you will never answer any of my questions, no matter what I ask? Thank you, thank you. And then you have 100% enrolled. Don't make the questions too complicated. How many of you are Roman Catholic and how many of you are Jewish? Well, don't get there. Don't get into controversial topics. Just keep it simple. Don't over-engineer it. So this is a technique called opening with two and rolling questions. It always works, I guarantee you. Don't forget to use the hands. It may feel a little bit awkward, so say by show of hands, how many of you had breakfast this morning and how many of you did not have breakfast this morning? Say thank you after they responded, and then have fun with your presentation. So I hope this is helpful. Leave a comment below, and don't forget to keep shipping this week. See you next week. Bye for now.